Good evening. I'm Patrick Dean. I'm the president of Seminar Systems, and we do leadership and team building training all over the world. And I'm a mentor and coach, and I work with thousands of people. And I want to welcome you to this Facebook Live, this short Facebook Live. And I wanted to talk tonight about an experience that seems to be universal. It's happening all over the place, an emotion and an experience, and that emotion and experience is anger. And I want to talk a little bit about anger. And I want to talk about the prices and benefits of anger. And I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about a distinction for anger called anger of instinct and anger of perception. I'm going to work with those two things and talk with you in this little fireside chat about that. And then what I want to do is end up with some ways that we can be more effective and and actually have more mastery of our anger and use it in the proper ways and let it affect us less. So at the end, we're going to talk about ways to do that. But I wanted to jump into this thing about anger, and I want to talk about fear as well. So anger is something that's a natural instinct. So I'm going to talk about the instinct of anger. Anger is very powerful. Fear is very powerful. And they're survival mechanisms. And what anger does and fear does is it gives us a rush of adrenaline. It gives us a rush of energy that we can handle what's in front of us that may be a threat. So I think one of the great things and benefits about this fear and anger that we have instinctually inside us, every human being, is that it keeps us alive. It keeps you from stepping out in front of a truck. It keeps you alert and awake to things around us. And when it does that, it has a great benefit for our survival. So instinctual anger is actually something that can be used in a powerful way. Now, I was reading the biography of Gandhi, and there was a part in there where Gandhi was talking about the fact that anger is a powerful emotion when it's focused toward making a difference or taking some action in our lives. So anger, what we have instinctually, is not something to tamp down all the time, but is something to take a look at, because anger indicates or fear indicates something important in our life. It's an indicator for us. So there are prices and benefits. Now, what Gandhi was talking about, I think, is the anger that we feel in our life toward things that are injustice, or anger at the way the world is right now, or anger toward hunger, or anger toward suffering, or anger toward the general state of pain or sadness in the world. Some things that we get angry at that seem preventable. And that anger is natural and normal for us as human beings, to be compassionate and to look out there and see things that may be preventable and be angry at the way that we haven't stepped in to do something about it. Again, another another benefit of anger. Now, I want to talk about the second thing that I said was a distinction, which I called the anger of perception. Now, the anger of perception is a different experience. So the anger of perception is the idea that we look outside of ourselves and perceive something out there that's making us angry, that we perceive that this person's words or what this person is talking about, or something going on in our life, or something we don't like. We have a perception that there's something going on that out there, and that's creating the experience of anger within us. I mean, we've all had this experience. All you have to do is look in the newspapers and look at what's going on these days, and it's anger of perception. They're doing it to me. They're the ones that are creating that. They are affecting my life, the stupidity of the world, and all these people and all this craziness that's going on is completely outside of ourselves, and it's our perception of how things are going that creates the experience of anger. So there's an instinctual anger, and then there's this perceptual anger. Now, how I know about perception is from a story that I've told before on some of these uh, uh, conversations we have about the roller coaster at Disneyland in Southern California that's indoors called Space Mountain. That roller coaster is as I said, it's indoors, and when you wait in line for that roller coaster, what you're doing is you're hearing all the experiences that are going on inside there. You're hearing the cars, and you smell the electricity, and you're waiting in line, and you hear all these screams that are going on from the people in there, but you can't see anything. And as you wait in line and as you move forward, there's this experience of fear and stuff that comes up for us. Now, some of the people in line are crazy in fear. And I think what that's about is that fear that something negative is going to happen, that fear that the car is going to fly off the track and it's going to end in disaster. And then there are some people standing in the same line for the same ride that see it as this is going to be exciting. This is going to be awesome. This is going to be wonderful. Usually the adults are on one side and the kids are on the other side. So the idea of standing in line, waiting, and having all these feelings and stuff going on is perception. How we perceive it will dictate whether you're in complete fear or you're in excitement. So the same physiological experience, can be interpreted completely different than instinctual, which happens in the moment of experience. So the good news in interpretation is that we can interpret things one way. We can take a look at interpreting things in a different way. So in a few moments, what I'm going to talk about is how we can master anger more by taking a look, master it differently by taking a look at our perception. So let's jump into that. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention one thing. For a lot of us here watching this video, we have an anger that's not really directed out at other people, but we have an anger that's directed inward. So one of the things that we do is we're our own biggest critic. So I don't know if you've ever had an experience of this, that we have an anger when we make mistakes toward ourselves, or when we act out of integrity, or we don't follow through, or we react to our own thinking, or how we act, or we react to ourselves if we're not playing a big enough game, or we don't feel like we're living up to our potential or living up to our purpose. And we have this complete voiceover that goes on inside us. I don't know if you relate to this. I really, this is a big thing for me when I look at how critical I am. That criticism, when it's continued for long periods of time, turns into anger, kind of an anger that I take out on other people, or I can be upset with other people, but it's really generated inside of me. So part of what we want to do is become aware of sourcing this experience of anger, to go deeper into it and take a look at how critical we are on ourselves, and then we kind of turn it out without even being conscious on other people. So let's talk for a moment about how we can be less angry, bring more peace into our life, and sort of get a mastery on the downside of anger and use the positive side, the benefits of anger, for making a difference. So I'll go through 5 things that I think that we can do. Now I take these 5 things from my experience with people, my experience with myself, and my experience coaching and my clients and everything. So Number one, we can be less angry if we look at our state of our state of being. So, in other words, what I find is I am really quick to anger if I feel like I'm under stress, if I feel like I'm hungry, tired, nervous, bored, overwhelmed, or lonely, or I have an illness or something going on for me, I go more quickly and I'm quick to anger when I have those things going on in my life. In other words, when I feel under stress, like I said, hungry or tired or lonely, overwhelmed, and all of that is a state. And when I notice myself in that state, I need to stop and take a look at what I need to do for myself. So, my suggestion here, and I'm going to work with another way to work with yourself as well, but one of the suggestions is here is don't get into those states far enough where they're going to affect how you relate to other people. So, this is one thing you want to really watch. Never get too lonely, too angry, too hungry, what did I say, too bored, stressed, or any of that kind of stuff. Stop for the moment, and you're going to find out that you can change your state. It'll change the way that you handle anger. So the next thing is what I call what I call other people's drama. Now, all you need to do is go to a family reunion, or go to any group of people, let's say at work or anything, where they're talking about what's not working, or how bad things are, or how upset they are, or there's a tendency for us all to buy into drama. Now, I love a good movie, just as much as you guys do, and I love the drama of it and the feeling and the emotions it brings up. But in reality, in the world, I have to ask myself, is what I'm angry about actually affecting my life? So I can be angry about concepts or people or whatever, but is it actually affecting my life other than the anger itself? Is the drama, can I sort out this and see what's made up and what's a drama and what's a story? So those of you that have been coaching with me or working with me in trainings know about how to sort this stuff out. In other words, not getting sucked into drama, which is something we do to avoid acting in real life. We get into drama to avoid actually taking action in our life. At least that's been my experience for myself. So limiting the drama. Next, every client that I have right now, we have started with a physical experience. No matter whether it's building a business or creating a relationship or getting a promotion or making more money or all of those stuff that comes as goals that we all want to accomplish in some way or making a bigger difference, it comes down to our physical being. So I start with the exercise, or start with looking at weight, or I start with looking at sleep. And we take a look at that because once it seems that we get into alignment, I know it sounds really simple and obvious, but it's amazing how we get caught up in everything else but taking care of ourselves. And so what I do when I'm working with people is get people into a ritual. I'm into when I say ritual, what I mean is something consistent. My son Zach tells me all the time that 10 minutes of exercise done at the same time every day consistently is much better than that going to the gym and ripping it out for an hour and a half on the treadmill or on the spin bike and doing it sporadically. So the idea would be to spend 10 minutes in meditation or 10 minutes in exercise or 15 minutes walking, whatever works for you. And I find that's a huge contributor to having less anger and having more peace into life. So that's one you can take on. Next one, there's two more, and we'll finish up here. But the next one is saying no and learning when to say no. Is I don't know. That's one of the great skills in life. Learning when to say I can't do that, or I won't do that, or I'm not committed to do that. and keep ourselves on the path of what serves other people, what serves our purpose, what we're good at, what we do well, what gives us pleasure, rather than getting scattered out. Now, I want to talk to those of you that are the real givers. And you guys out there, you go out of your way to help other people. You go some of your life purpose is making is going out and alleviating suffering. But one of the things that I suggest that you do is you take a look at how you're going to take care of yourself. It is about taking care of you, because when you can be your best self, then you're going to be more effective as a leader, more effective working with people. Are you guys? I mean, I know this sounds obvious, but it's difficult to do because a lot of us get great pleasure from saying yes and doing, and then getting ourselves overwhelmed, and then jumping into this thing about resentment for not being recognized. And there's a whole path there that we could talk about on another Facebook presentation or talk about that if you guys want to. We can talk about how to be a great giver and also give to yourself. But anyway, so the last thing is that the people that have most peace, the people that have the least amount of anger, have goals and a purpose toward which they are moving. So one of the things that's critical is that you get some coaching, or you set some goals, or you share with the people around you, or you find a group of people that are going to be with you on forward momentum. I know it's easy to gravitate toward comfort. Wow, this is what I'm really looking for in my life. Less stress, more comfort. And that's fine. But I think that the happiest people that I've experienced, also, they know how to relax. They know how to have a great old time. But they also know when to put their nose to the grindstone. And some of the most spectacular results that I've been getting with clients is when we go to the edge of capability, that you start pushing yourself toward that edge. If you don't do that, you're never going to get the sword sharpened. So pushing yourself toward the edge of what you're capable, reaching out in a way to other people, that all takes great courage. And that's also going to reduce this thing of low level of anger. So stress, hunger, tiredness, nervousness, boredom, loneliness. Master that. Take a look in your life and making the adjustments. Affected by other people's drama, just walk away from it if you have to sometimes. The physical goals of putting yourself into motion in some way and working on yourself physically, your sleep, your meditation, your whatever it is for you. If it's just a 15-minute walk, it's awesome if you do it. If you do it at the same time, same day of the week, all the time, you're going to have some results. And learning to master your saying yes and no, and finally getting coaching, getting somebody to help you set those goals, or find people in your life that can mentor you and work with you, and then put yourself on the edge. These are ways that you can reduce the anger in your life. You can bring more joy into your life, but use that anger, use some of that powerful instinct to move you forward and to bring you energy. Don't be afraid of it. Jump into it. So that's it for me. That's it for this Facebook Live. And we'll do another one next Wednesday at 6 o'clock again. I have an invitation to some of you if you wish to do this. What I'm offering right now is I'm working with people for 30 minutes to 45 minutes on talking about purpose and direction. And if you would like this, there's no charge for this. I just want to make a difference. Some people decide they want to coach with me and mentor with me as a result of these conversations. But basically, I would love to talk with you. It's private and it's free. And all you have to do is Facebook message me. And I have some openings where we can just spend some time on the phone or video, and we can talk about this stuff. If you don't have somebody that can step back and help you find that direction, I am willing to be there, and I know you guys are awesome. So we will see you next week, and Facebook message me if you would like to talk. Also on the screen there is a text. Text my phone for a text. If you want to just text, we can set up a time as well. So I'll give you a moment to write that down if you wish. The time trade one is for to set up. You look at my calendar if you want to, and just set up a 30-minute right there. And we don't need to have a preliminary. But I would like to talk with you because there is a little bit of homework that I wanted to give you before we have our initial conversation. So there you go, you guys. Awesome. And I will see you next week. And we're going to take on another great topic. Bye-bye.